We're going to hit our third game here. Switch over to the Bundesliga. Dortmund is coming in, and they had a really disappointing end to last season, trying to pick up, I guess, where they could have left off, as Augsburg also with them. You can call them Augsburg, whatever you want. We're not here to judge anyone. That's Sunday at 9:30 a.m. If you like goals, this is the league for you. Martino, tell me what kind of over we're hitting on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited that Bundesliga is back. By far, I think the best and easiest league to get into in the sense of entertainment, and especially betting, because there's tons of goals all the time. It's more of a progressive league, liken it to the way American sports have changed over the past few years, and more throwing in the NFL, more 3-pointers in the NBA, more homers in baseball. Totals go up, just like Bundesliga. Over 2.5 has hit in 3 of the last 5 matches between these two. There's no Erling Haaland this time around, so a little bit different. But with that, both teams to score, yes, is at minus 140 with points bet. That's really not that bad considering how often it happens. And again, coming out the gates, you want to start well to start the new year with the start back up in Bundesliga. Plenty of rest given. Bundesliga is very wise about the way they do things. As we noticed, we've had a couple of leagues back for a few weeks now. Bundesliga players have slowly been playing friendlies, building up tons of stamina. And I think that's going to play into a part of seeing the starters go deep into games like you wouldn't necessarily see in other leagues. Do they have to play catch up with the condensed schedule? Also, yes. But with this, I mean, Dortmund is one of those sides that you could usually rely upon to have high scoring games. Sometimes they're so frustrating. It was one game earlier this season where I had them up. It looked like they had it in the bag. It was 3-1, and they end up having one of the worst collapses ever. And it ended 4-3 in their loss. But it was 7 goals, so plenty of goals, and that's kind of where I'm going. I mean, over 2.5 is not something that you have to shy away from. Again, that's a pretty high amount. 3 of 5. Both teams to score. Dortmund money line plus 120. They're kind of a heavy favorite this weekend. Augsburg hasn't been playing that well. Again, it's been a little bit of a layoff. That's plus 120. Really not too bad. And again, if you just want to parlay it or take straight bets with the over, there's nothing wrong with that. And even then, there's some value if you like go over 3.5. You start getting into some plus money territory that really isn't too bad. And I think that's worth looking at.
Yeah, the jump is just crazy. Over 2.5 is minus 240. Over 3.5 is plus 108. So you obviously make that massive leap there, but that's usually the line for most soccer games. You're going to see that leap. Dortmund, again, is kind of desperate for a win here just because of how poorly they finished in 2022. Augsburg is a point clear of relegation, kind of been flirting with that recently. So if you like Dortmund minus 1.5 or just to win by 2 or more goals, you get that at minus 130. I believe that was on DraftKings that I saw that. That's not a bad number to be hanging out at. Also, Augsburg do struggle to score goals, but sometimes they're able to score first. If that is the case, jump on Dortmund. There was a 5-game stretch. I looked this up. This is insane. From October to November, they took the lead in every single game. They lost 4 of those and tied in 1 of them. This is not a team that is good at holding on to leads, which is obviously not encouraging. Hearing what you just told me about that one Dortmund game you bet on. But Dortmund should have no problem in this one. I kind of like the over 2.5 and maybe even Dortmund by or minus 1.5 in this one.
Yeah, again, and to your point with the statistic that you brought up, live betting is awesome. And again, when you're reading and seeing things, say like 20 minutes, and you see tons of chances being created, I love taking live bet on totals. I really do. I think there's so much value there. Final scores even as well. So like again, perfect example. You like betting the spread in this one, minus 1.5. So you think Dortmund by 2 goals. There are bets that could have you Dortmund to win by 2 or more goals, or exactly 2 goals. There's all those types of bets that ends you up in plus money. So I'm not saying don't bet Dortmund minus 105 or minus 1.5. What I'm saying is you could take that, but you could also win twice the bets if you just simply put that down. And again, I forget the exact title of the scoreline, but we did this during the World Cup, a team to win by 2, 3, or 4 goals are usually options. Again, it's so much fun betting Bundesliga because there's so many different options for totals and winning margins, and there's so much value in this. And I think if you just really take the time to look through and see something that you're comfortable with, just as a fan, or you, Matthias Woman, you could easily find something that is of significant value. Take me, for instance, just real quick, that I have to talk about how frustrated I was this weekend. Atalanta, Salernitana, and Serie A. Maybe you saw me tweet this, Matthias. But I said, I think I like the over 3.5 in this one. It's at plus 144. The game finished 7-2. Bet it if you like it. Okay? 9 goals. That's not happening again to me. Do it when you have a chance, all right? Because I couldn't believe it. And that hit, by the way, the over 3.5 in the first 25 minutes.
And you're like, cool. Like, I'll take it.
And guess what? I didn't bet it, like usual. What else is new? Just you never take your own advice. But yeah, super excited for Bundesliga, and Dortmund's a great place to start watching.